present to you. So, Bhagavad Gita is a very interesting book. It is the most important book in the whole of this world, not to speak of the universe. So why is it so important? As you come across the Bhagavad Gita, as you read the Bhagavad Gita, and you understand the Bhagavad Gita, you will come to understand that it is a really very interesting book. And you should always have someone to guide you in the reading of the Bhagavad Gita. If you don't have someone to guide you, normally you get confused, and what will happen is you will just put the book aside and say that I really cannot understand. When I'm ready, I will read again. So that is the problem with trying to read on your own. If you read with the help of someone, a guru, then it will be very easy, because like you go to school, you want to learn education on your own is very difficult, but you have teachers teaching you all the different subjects, then it's very much easier. In the same way, Bhagavad Gita is a scientific book, also we can say, and is also a book which helps you to understand yourself, understand the Lord, and then understand many other things about everyone, about other people, about why they behave this way. All this will be revealed to you from the Bhagavad Gita. So in this way, we shall start. And just to let you know how many verses, if you read the Bhagavad Gita every day, 2 verses a day, you can complete the Bhagavad Gita in 1 year. All you have to do is keep time and read only 2 verses a day, and you will be able to complete the whole Bhagavad Gita in 1 year. And on the other hand, if you read 4 verses a day, you can complete the Bhagavad Gita in 6 months. You want to complete in 6 months the Bhagavad Gita, read 4 verses a day. You consistently read it, you will finish within 6 months. You consistently read 2 verses a day, you will finish in 1 year. So it is not really difficult, is it? Sometimes we may think, oh, it will take a long time. It's not true. If you just consistent, you will be able to complete it. Even if you don't understand certain part of the Bhagavad Gita, you can always question me whenever you want, and even after any time, you can also WhatsApp to me and tell me, explain to me that you don't understand this. So in this way, we can all help each other. You can help me by helping you. You know. So in this way, you will be able to understand Bhagavad Gita. And if you carry on reading, and you should read also the purport. There is a purport, meaning explanation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When you read the verse, it's in Sanskrit, and then after that is in English, the translation, and then after that is the explanation. Explanation is to guide you, and then that way you will not get you will not think incorrectly, or at least you understand deeper. So you must have a person who is well versed in reading in the Bhagavad Gita to guide you. Like you are now coming for a class, so those teachers who are allocated are all well versed in the Bhagavad Gita, and we have a syllabus, and we teach you from the syllabus. And what happens is all of you will slowly understand and excel in understanding the Bhagavad Gita. And You should always ask questions from a qualified person who understands the Bhagavad Gita correctly. And sometimes you may be shy to ask a question, but don't worry. You know, even the teachers, when they first started reading Bhagavad Gita, they were like you only. They wanted to. They like cannot. They are fixed. They don't not understand certain things. Then sometimes you must ask. It at least you may look a bit stupid when asking the question, but then it's okay. At least the teacher will teach you, and you will understand. And it's better to be sorry foolish, looking foolish for a small time, than be a fool for the rest of the time. If you don't ask and you don't get the answer, you will be not able to understand. You don't want to look bad. So that's not the correct way. The correct way is to be humble and to understand that I don't know much. I would like to learn. So when you like to learn, you should ask, right? If you think. And the Bhagavad Gita, it contains all the information of how to live your life, and also how to understand how other people are acting, and also how to stop the cycle of birth and death. We are we are born and we will die. Again we will born, again we will die. So how do we stop this cycle of birth and death? The secret is written in the Bhagavad Gita. And um, why do we not want to come back to this material world? Because there is a better place to go to. The material world may be good to some of you, but there's also a lot of other things which are painful, like you get sick, you lose something, you get hurt. There are so many other painful things that are happening to you. You may get a lot of joy by enjoying, that is also there, but you will also get a lot of suffering. When if any of your relatives pass away which are close to you, you will feel sad, right? So that is the material life. Whilst in the spiritual life, in the spiritual world, there is no birth, there's no death, there's no old age, and there is no disease. These are the four miseries. To be born in the mother's womb, stay there for 9 months is uh, it's not very pleasant. I mean, you don't remember it, but actually, just imagine if you are hooked up. Anyway, birth, you die. To die also is not pleasant. To be old and incapable, I mean, you old, you can't do the things that you want to do. That's also, and you get the disease, to be disease. The other things, of course, is to be lack of money, lack of health, that's disease. Okay, lack of money, lack of love. You don't get enough love. That is also a person becomes sad. In the end, they might think that it's better to commit suicide. They don't have no anyone loving them. So you how to love others is also important. When you love others, people will love you, and then you have a good relationship. You have good friends, you have good relatives. That is what you are looking for. At least your material world is a little bit more pleasant, right? So Bhagavad Gita is compulsory for every Hindu to read and understand. And actually, if those who are not even Hindus, they read and understand, they will also become good people. Actually, we are Bhagavad Gita is under the category of Sanatana Dharma. What is Sanatana Dharma? It is the eternal religion for everyone. So everyone should actually be following all these Bhagavad Gita and the other scriptures that we have. That is the prime scriptures, and that's the most important scriptures. If everyone were to follow Bhagavad Gita, there will be peace in the world. Because the things that Krishna is telling us to do as human beings, if everyone follow, there will be peace in this world. Otherwise there will always be dispute and war and so many things. Bhagavad Gita is a unique book. Why is it unique? Because in our scriptures we have Shruti scripture and Smriti scripture. Shruti scriptures are the Vedas. Smriti scriptures are like Ramayana, Mahabharata. These are after. When the world was created, Krishna gave us the Vedas. And the Vedas, from the Vedas and Mahabharata is later on. By Vyasadev he wrote. But in the middle of Mahabharata is the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is but in the Bhagavad Gita, it is Krishna speaking and giving instructions to Arjuna. Indirectly, he is giving instructions to all of us. So in this way, he is speaking directly. So you can also say that Bhagavad Gita is also a Shruti, direct from the words of the mouth of the Lord. And before reading the Bhagavad Gita, you should always pay respect to the Supreme Lord. And one of the best ways is to chant this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, 3 times before you start. This is a very interesting, this will help you focus your mind and also help by invoking the Lord to please help me. What will happen is you will become able to understand better. Otherwise, you may try and understand, but it's a bit difficult. So once you complete reading the Bhagavad Gita, you should also encourage others to read the Bhagavad Gita. This is what we say. Krishna says at the end of the Bhagavad Gita that I have told all of you all the secret, Arjuna, and now I like the person who helps others by also remembering this Bhagavad Gita and speaking this Bhagavad Gita to others is considered to me the best of devotees. So if you want to be a good devotee of the Lord, you read the Bhagavad Gita, understand, and you should also help other people by asking them also to read Bhagavad Gita and helping them. And also maybe if you can't really help them totally, tell them to also come for the class. We have classes, and by the mercy of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, we are doing very well. This is batch 5. Every 2 months we have one batch. So many people have also enrolled and they have benefited. And the best Bhagavad Gita is by Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Why is it the best? Because Prabhupada is the only person who gives you from Sanskrit word to word translation from Sanskrit to English, and then after that the full translation, and after that he'll give you the explanation, so that you can see that he is not changing from Sanskrit to English on his own whims and fancies. So it is as it is, Bhagavad Gita as it is. And it is the most famous Bhagavad Gita in the whole world. It is translated in most languages, major languages in the world, and even in Chinese, even in Arabic, we have the Bhagavad Gita. and we have Bhagavad Gita in so many languages: Spanish, French, Portuguese. So this is the most widely read Bhagavad Gita of everyone. So any questions so far? I encourage you all to ask questions. It's okay. I'm like a friend. Any questions so far? What I said and what I have just spoken to you, I will post these notes in the group, and you can print it out if you like. All right, or you can read it. No? Whatever I have just spoken is I have notes on it, and I'll also be giving you notes on chapter 1, 2, and 3 up to chapter 18 as we go on. So in that way, when you are reading the Bhagavad Gita, you can also refer to them, because these are notes which are compiled by me. So that's my personal notes, and you can maybe read them and try and understand. Okay. So 1 minute. Huh? So now in the Bhagavad Gita, we have setting the scene. But setting the scene is giving you the background of Bhagavad Gita. I would like to ask y'all 1 minute. How many of you have completed reading the Bhagavad Gita? Any of you? None of you? Okay, that's good. It's a good that you are here. And so we will explain. So, who would like to read the first paragraph? I need some volunteer. This first paragraph. Any volunteer? You all can see the.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Although widely published and read by itself, Bhagavad Gita originally appears as an episode in the Mahabharata, the epic victory of the
Louder,
Asian
please.
world. Although widely published and read by itself,
Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita originally appears as an episode in the Mahabharata, the epic Sanskrit history of the Asian world. The Mahabharata tells of events leading up to the present age of Kali. It was at the beginning of this age, some 50 centuries ago, the Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to his friend and devotee Arjuna.
Thank you. So it's 50 centuries means about 5,000 years ago, Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita. But before that, once we read the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking Krishna, these signs which you are teaching us, was it now you are speaking or before you have spoken? And Krishna says, I spoke this to the sun god. So, it was spoken earlier, but then along the way it got broken. So then again, Krishna is speaking the Bhagavad Gita to his friend and devotee Arjuna, and also it's actually to help us, and we are getting the benefit of what Krishna spoke to Arjuna. Indirectly, he is also helping us. Okay. Okay, who would like to read the second paragraph? I need all of you to volunteer. Okay, this is a proaction.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'll go.
Yes.
Their discourse, one of the greatest philosophical and religious dialogues known to men, took place just before the onset of war. A great fratricidal conflict between the 100 sons of, I'm not sure how to pronounce this word.
Shastra.
That's the,
Yeah.
and on the opposing side, their cousins, the Pandavas, or sons of Pandu.
Thank you. So
Welcome.
here we have 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, and we have They are cousins, the Pandavas. There are 5 of them. Actually, there are 6, but they don't know. They only knew that there were 5. Okay, later we'll tell you in what way. So, because the first son was Karna, he was the first son of Queen Kunti, but because Queen Kunti was not married at the time, so she felt, because she had the power to invoke the Deva, so she invoked the sun god, and the sun god asked her, "What do you want?" She said, "I don't want anything. I just wanted to test the power that was given to me." Then he said, "But once you call me, I must give you something. So I give you a son." Then she said, "Oh my God, I am not married, and then I got a son. The people, what will happen? People will think that what this girl is not a chaste lady, and who will marry me?" So she put him on a boat and put him on the river and let the baby float down. And going down the river, some couple who had no children found this baby floating, and they took and they raised him up. So that is Karna. So after that, she had 5 more children after birth. So that's why actually they are cousins. So now there was 5 on one side, and the Dhritarashtra's brother had Pandu had 5 children, and Dhritarashtra had 100 children. Okay, who will read the third one? Who would like to read this third one? Please volunteer.
I can read it.
Yes, please.
When Pandu died at an early age, his 5 children, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna.
One chapter, one paragraph up. You can read 2 paragraphs.
Sorry.
This and one more. Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra and Pandu were brothers born in the Kuru dynasty, descending from King Bharata, a former ruler of the earth, from whom the name Mahabharata derives. Because Dhritarashtra, the elder brother, was born blind, the throne that otherwise would have been his was passed down to the younger brother Pandu.
Read the next paragraph.
When Pandu died at an early age, his 5 children, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva, came under the care of Dhritarashtra, who in fact became, for the time being, the king. Thus, the sons of Dhritarashtra and those of Pandu grew up in the same royal household. Both were trained in the military arts by the expert Drona and counseled by the revered grandfather of the clan, Bhishma.
Thank you, Prabhu. So here we have, because the elder brother is supposed to be king, but he was blind. So by default, the next one will become the king. So Pandu became the king, but Pandu died, and his children were still young. So temporary caretaker Dhritarashtra became the king until the children of Pandu became older. This is the style of inheritance in those times. So they all grew up. Yudhishthira's 100 children and Pandu's 5 children went to the same school, had the same teachers. So they were trained, and because they are under the ruling class, they were trained especially in the military arts. And the teacher who was training them in the military arts was Dronacharya. And the counsel means how to behave was by Bhishma Dev. Okay. Okay. Who would like to read the next 2 paragraphs? Any volunteer? Please volunteer. Everyone should volunteer.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yet the sons of Dhritarashtra, especially the eldest Duryodhana, hated and envied the Pandavas, and the blind and weak-minded Dhritarashtra wanted his own sons, not those of Pandu, to inherit the kingdom.
Next one also.
Thus Duryodhana, with Dhritarashtra concerned, plotted to kill the young sons of Pandu, and it was only by the careful protection of their uncle Vidura and their cousin Lord Krishna that the Pandavas escaped the many attempts against their lives.
Thank you. So the sons of Dhritarashtra, sons, they are very much wanted to become the kings, but they cannot become the king because once the Pandus are older, they will become the king and they will not be able to become king. So what to do? So their idea is, if we get rid of the Pandus, then there is nobody else to nobody else. So by default, we will become the kings, right? So that is their intention. They are willing to even kill their cousins to become the kings. That is their intention. It was a very evil intention, but that's the way that they thought. So, but then many times Duryodhan, which is the eldest son of Yudhishthira, tried to kill them, but they were always under the protection of Vidura and Krishna, so they escaped a lot of attempts to kill them. Okay, who would like to read the next two paragraphs? Anytime if the internet connection is down, please let me know, okay? Okay. Any volunteer for
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, right?
Yeah. Now Lord Krishna was not an ordinary man, but the supreme Godhead himself, who had descended to earth and was playing the role of a prince in a contemporary dynasty. In this role, he was also the nephew of Pandu's wife Kunti, or Prata, the mother of the Pandavas. So both as a relative and as an eternal upholder of religion, Krishna favored the righteous son of Pandus and protected them.
Next paragraph.
Ultimately, however, the clever Duryodhana challenged the Pandavas to a gambling match. In the course of that fateful tournament, Duryodhana and his brothers took possession of Draupadi, the chaste and devoted wife of Pandavas, and insultingly tried to strip her naked before the entire assembly of princes and kings. Krishna's divine intervention saved her, but the gambling, which was rigged, cheated the Pandavas and their kingdom and forced them into 13 years of exile.
Yeah. So here we have Krishna is not an ordinary man, but he is the supreme Lord himself. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, when we read Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, so the Krishna is referred to as the supreme Lord. Okay, he came to this world to when Krishna comes and takes on the incarnation to actually get rid of the evil people and to protect the righteous people. So in this time, he came to get rid of all the evil people who were in this material world and to protect the righteous people. So he became a relative of the Pandavas. And Krishna is the upholder of religion, because he himself is make the religious principles, right? So he has to uphold. So he favored the righteous sons of Pandu and protected them from but Duryodhan, he challenged the Pandus to a gambling match. That is why you should never go and do gambling. It's very dangerous. So, and they cheated in the gambling match. The dice was rigged. They did it in such a way that it will fall in a certain way. So what happened is Duryodhan cheated Yudhishthira, and Yudhishthira lost all his kingdom one by one. He first lost his. You must bet. When you bet something, right? Normally we bet money, right? But this one, they bet more than money. They even bet the land, even villages. Finally, Yudhishthira lost all his kingdom, and then he even bet his brothers. After that, finally, he says, "I've lost everything." Then what happened is Duryodhan said, "No, you still have your wife, Draupadi. You can bet her. If you bet her and you win, we give you back everything. If you lose, she comes to me." You see, when you are gambling, This is what happens. You become desperate, and you will do something drastic. How can you bet your wife on the gambling match? This is ridiculous. But it happens, you see, when you are gambling, that's what happens. You lose your intelligence, and finally they lost her also, and she was dragged to the assembly hall, and the second brother of Duryodhan, the next brother, was trying to strip her naked and make her shame. Just imagine how low class people these Kauravas were. You can understand their mentality was very, very low class. So, but then she scolded everyone. What is this? How can you put me as the pawn without my consent? But they don't care. They keep on. They say, "I'm so sorry. It happened, and you have no say." So then they start. The one of the brothers started to disrobe her, and then she cried out to Krishna, "Krishna, please help me." She was holding on to the sari, and then what happened is the sari was going to finish. Then she put up one hand, "Krishna, please help me," and then still Krishna did not do anything. Then she decided that it's the last part. There's no point me holding the sari. She put up two hands and said, "Krishna, please help me." And Krishna, he gave unlimited sari, and they keep on pulling and pulling until they become so tired. And then finally, Draupadi came, and then she was holding, not Draupadi, the Yudhishthira's wife came, and she scolded everyone, "What are you all doing?" And finally, they came to the conclusion, it's okay, you go 13 years in exile because you have lost, and when you come back, we give you back half the kingdom, you know. So in that way, the Pandavas went in exile, right? They forced them into 13 years of exile. So this is the story so far. Okay, any someone can read the next 1, 2, 3 paragraphs? Who will volunteer?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Upon returning from exile, the Pandavas rightfully requested their kingdom from Duryodhana, who bluntly refused to yield it. Duty bound as prince to serve in public administration, the 5 Pandavas reduced their request to a mere 5 villages. But Duryodhana arrogantly replied that he wouldn't spare them enough land into which to drive a pin. Throughout all this, the Pandavas had been consistently tolerant and forbearing. But now war seemed inevitable.
One more.
Okay. Nonetheless, as the prince of the world divided, some siding with the sons of Dharashtra, others with the Pandavas, Krishna himself took the role of messenger for the sons of Pandu and went to the court of Dharashtra to plead for peace. When his pleas were refused, war was now certain.
Thank you. So then what happened is, when they returned after 13 years, they said, "Give us a kingdom," but our person Duryodhan refused. And so they said, "Okay, never mind, you don't want to give us full, you give us just 5 villages." Also refused. So then they said, if you don't negotiate, then we have no choice, but we have to start a war with you. And Duryodhan was very okay with that. You know, he don't mind. He is actually the relative of the Pandavas, and he don't want to give them anything at all. He was like so like jealous of them that he cannot see them being at least some happiness, something they have. Because, and you are a king in a Kshatriya, you must have a kingdom to rule. Otherwise, you cannot be a Kshatriya, right? You are a king, you must have a kingdom. And now how can you be a king? So how to be a king if you don't have any land and kingdom? So, okay, who would like to read the next two paragraphs?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The Pandavas, men of the highest moral stature, recognized Krishna to be the supreme personality of Godhead, whereas the impious sons of Rashtra did not. Yet, Krishna offered to enter the war according to the desire of the antagonists. As God, he would not personally fight, but whoever so desired might avail himself of Krishna's army, and the other side would have Krishna himself as an advisor and helper. Duryodhana, the political genius, snatched at Krishna's armed forces, while the Pandavas were equally eager to have Krishna himself.
Next paragraph. One more.
In this way, Krishna became the charioteer of Arjuna, taking it upon himself to drive the fabled Balman's chariot. This brings us to the point at which Bhagavad Gita begins, with the two armies arrayed, ready for combat, and Dharashtra anxiously inquiring of his secretary Sanjaya, what did they do?
Thank you. So here what happened is, when the war is definitely going to happen, because Krishna was related to the Kauravas and the Pandavas, both Duryodhana and Arjuna went to Krishna to ask Krishna to be on their side, because normally, because there's a war, so the Pandavas will ask their friend kings, or please be my side, and the Kauravas will ask their friendly kings to be on their side. But because Krishna is related to both sides, so both of them wanted Krishna to be on their side, because they understood that Krishna is very powerful. So Krishna was sleeping, and both Arjuna and Duryodhana waited. Then Krishna woke up and he saw Arjuna. Then he said, Arjuna, how are you? What brings you here? He said, I have a request. And then Duryodhana said, wait, I also have a request. I also have been waiting here for so long. Then Krishna says, okay, what is your request? He asked Arjuna. And Arjuna said, can you please fight on my side in the war? Duryodhana said, no, I also want you to fight on my side in the war. You are my relative also. So then Krishna said, okay, now you both are my related. So I tell you what, either I be on your side, but I will not take up my weapons. I will only be a charioteer. Or the other one is, my army will be on the, or you take my army. Either you take me and I will not pick up weapons in the war, or you take my army. So then Arjuna said, I want to choose. I will choose first. And Duryodhana said, no, I will choose first. And Krishna said, but I saw Arjuna first. So let Arjuna choose. Then you will take the other part. So it's fair. I'm giving myself or my army. But if you take me, I won't even lift a weapon. So then Arjuna said, Krishna, I take you. And Duryodhana was thinking, oh, such a big fool, Arjuna. Yeah, I'm so happy, Duryodhana said. If the choice was given to Duryodhana, Duryodhana would have taken the army of Krishna. He would not have taken Krishna. But Arjuna took Krishna. So you can understand the mentality of Arjuna and the mentality of Duryodhana. Duryodhana is thinking calculatively how I can get material things, the army. And Arjuna is thinking how I can get Krishna, because he is in actual fact like is a supreme Lord. So if Lord is on your side, who can defeat you? So in this way, he chose Krishna. And Duryodhana was very happy and he took the army. Okay. And when he went to his uncle Duryodhana, and the uncle asked him, Sakuni, what happened? And he related the story, Duryodhana, and he said, Arjuna is such a fool. And then Sakuni said, you are the stupid fool. Don't you know Krishna is more valuable than his army, even if he's not fighting? So anyway, this is what means, what happened. So in this way, both. Okay, now who would like to read the next two paragraphs? Who would like to volunteer?
Hi, I can read the next paragraph.
Yeah.
In this way, Krishna became the charioteer of Arjuna, taking it upon himself to drive the fabled bowman's chariot. This brings us to the point at which Bhagavad Gita begins, with the two armies arrayed, ready for combat, and Dhritarashtra anxiously inquiring of his secretary Sanjaya, what did they do?
The next two more will read.
The scene is set with only the need for a brief note regarding the translation and commentary. The general pattern translators have followed in rendering Bhagavad Gita into English has been to brush aside the person Krishna to make room for their own concepts and philosophies. The history of the Mahabharata is taken as quaint mythology, and Krishna becomes a poetic device for presenting the ideas of some anonymous genius. Or at best, he becomes a minor historical personage.
Okay, this is what is saying. The scene is set in the war, right? So now this is a commentary. There are some people who say that there was no Krishna. And Bhagavad Gita is just some nice philosophy. And there was someone who wrote this philosophy, some anonymous genius. And they put Krishna as the person speaking it. They did not give their own. So they say that Krishna was a very minor personality. They don't say that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Okay? So, but you must understand that Krishna is both the goal and substance of Bhagavad Gita, so far as the Gita speaks of itself. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is the goal. We want to go back to Krishna. And the Kurukshetra was there, and Krishna was there, and Krishna did kill many, many demons before even coming to the Mahabharatam war. In the Mahabharatam war, most of the people died. On both sides, most of the people died. Why did the side of the Kauravas also die? That one later on, as we read the Bhagavad Gita, I will explain to you. But take it that most of the people died. And after the war was over, Krishna became the king of Dwarka. And again, he killed many, many demons. And finally, when his work was over, when he was 125 years old, he decided that my life on this earth is completed. My mission is completed. I want to go back to my home, which is Goloka Vrindavan. And he gave us the Bhagavad Gita, and it is in the Bhagavad Gita, he is telling all of us, I am already gone to my home. I want you all to come back to my home. Okay, so this is what we went through is also in the Bhagavad Gita under the setting the scene. So if you want to refer, you can refer back. So that is the important part. And the introduction is a little bit in the Bhagavad Gita is a little bit technical. So maybe you don't read this now first, okay? You read after we finish the 18 days, level 1 of Bhagavad Gita. After 18 days, level 1 of Bhagavad Gita, we have another weekly class on level 2 of Bhagavad Gita, where we go a little deeper into each chapter. But now we are going into the overview of each chapter every day. And you still need to read the Bhagavad Gita daily, and this is very important, and consistently. So in this way, today we have ended the class, the introduction to Bhagavad Gita and setting the scene. So tomorrow we start on chapter 1. And after each chapter, there is a quiz. So the quiz also will be posted. And chapter 1, we have slides also. And the slides also will be posted. And after the end of the class, you can try your quiz. Okay? So any questions so far? You all understand so far?
Yes.
Then, who has some difficulty still? It's okay. Ashu says no question. Anyone has any questions so far? If you want to know more about Mahabharata, then you have to buy the Mahabharata book. Okay. And if you want a special prize for Mahabharata, you just ask me. I will get a special prize for you. Okay. If you want to know more about Krishna, then you buy the Krishna book, and that is in the story form. Mahabharata is also in the story form. Krishna book is also in the story form. It's about the life of Krishna from the time he's born until the time he left the world, all the things that he has done. You want that also? There is a special price I can get for you. You buy normally, you will get more expensive. But if you want that, you ask me, I will send you the link for getting a special price, a special deal. Okay? And even you want Bhagavad Gita at a special price, we also have a link for that. If you buy more than 10, we even give you a more discount. All this special price for all of you. So if you need, you can always contact me. So all of you understood so far? Any questions? Try and ask some questions.
So far, no questions from me, Prabhu. The class was quite straightforward.
Straightforward, huh?
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. Radhika, are you okay? Any question?
Very clear. Thank you so much.
Amy, are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay, Uncle.
So far, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Tanusha, you okay? Okay, then. Thank you very much. So I see you tomorrow, same time. So 7:30 to 8:30 is
Sorry, Prabhu.
best time.
I'm okay. I just trying hard to remembering their names.
Pardon?
I'm just trying hard to remembering their names.
Try and
The
hard.
Pandavas and the brothers' names and
Oh, never mind. It's okay. At least you know the idea that there are two sides wanted to
yeah.
fight, right?
The
And
two sides, yeah. One is the Pandavas and
one is the Kauravas. Yeah.
one was the Draupada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted to
So
fight.
yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes, brothers can fight each other for same property of the father. They have cases, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
this material world is like very selfish. They don't think, why not we both be happy? So that's the problem in the material world. Okay. Anybody got any?
Prabhu,
Yeah, you can even say something.
sorry, Prabhu.
Yeah.
How will we be getting the recording and
Okay, I will, you just message me, you want the recordings, all the recordings. I will send you at the end of every class all the recordings.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
you
you, Prabhu.
just message me privately that I want the recording. So I will sometime not on the actual day, next morning you will get, you know, because I will upload it into the YouTube and then give you the link. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay, Prabhu.
So that's all. Any comments? Anything you want to share? Something for the benefit of all of us? No, huh? Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.